Hey everybody, Brendan Farrell, That Dexter Cow Guy. Thanks for tuning in to another That Dexter Cow Guy podcast. Coming to you today from Coldwater, Mississippi. This was a fun one because it was kind of impromptu. I was just kind of passing through and I'm like, hey, anybody want to come on? And I conned her into it somehow. So we came out and we set up and we toured, and you have a fabulous, fabulous place here. I love it. It's just great. The setup is amazing. It's perfect. I mean, you have the perfect paddocks for them. The way you separate it, and I think being a horse facility almost makes it easier to transform into a cow facility because, you know, you have the stalls, you have the setup already for stuff. So, we're in Mississippi on the road trip. This is the interview I didn't know I was going to get, but I'm really, really glad to. Thank you for your time and showing us around and having us there today.
Thank you for coming. We
got some freebies. We got J.A.C. Dexter hat. I always love freebies. Thank you very much for those. We'll wear them all over Memphis tomorrow. So, so first off, I want to thank my sponsors, Mike Ligorio from Field & Stream Taxidermy. He was the guest on the last show, so hopefully you guys learned something. If not, it was a Facebook Live, so it was fun. And Emily and Matt Boovy from Zeeland, Michigan, with Shamrock Meats LLC, raised by their family to feed yours. And my farm, Farrell Farm Dexters. So how did you get started with Dexters? We talked a little bit beforehand, but you got a lot of great stuff going on with the table and the stuff you have. But how did you get your start?
Well, first time I saw a Dexter, I was at a horse show that they were auctioning the Dexter off for the youth club, and I just fell instantly in love with them. And I researched them and went to a meeting here in Mississippi and met Deb from Aspen Hill Farms, where I bought my first Dexters.
Which we're heading to next. That's where we're getting our Dexters from today, so that's a small world. So.
And the rest is just history.
Yeah, and once you get one, they're like potato chips.
You can't have just one, you're right.
So, who do we have here?
This is J.A.C. Mary Hazel. She's 15 months old, and hopefully she'll be a show cow for me.
You're going to clip her today and
yes, we'll get
fit and clip and get her ready to go for the virtual show.
Right.
Great.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So, you're pushing for education of Dexters and pushing for the breed, which I think is fantastic, and I think more breeders need to have the mindset you have of it going into it, that people usually with Dexters it's their first entry cow. I love and hate to say that. Hopefully they never move on from the breed. So you have an education table set up.
Yes.
You've been in the paper, and we have footage of this and clips and pictures we're going to obviously roll with. So what made you decide to start pushing that for people? I mean, the education aspect of it.
Well, because people I didn't know about a Dexter, and the more I read about them, the more excited I got. And when I would tell people about them, they didn't have a clue what I was talking about, and they thought it was a big joke. Well, I started taking them here and there, and people are falling in love with them.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get, like I said before, we have a Dexter show coming up in September that I'm looking forward to. It's all Dexters. Yeah. And I have several 4-H kids that are interested in showing them, and that's a thrill for me. And we take them to the small farmers conference and try to educate the people there about them. And they get interested real fast with them.
Yep, they're an easy breed to love, and the more people that don't know about them, that learn about them, see that.
Well, they see the advantages of them, especially, like you said, there's a lot of first-time owners, and you don't have to fear them like you do the big cows.
Sure.
And you don't have to have those super strong fences to hold them in either.
Yeah, typically they don't test fences like other breeds. I mean, there's exceptions to each individual, but not this one, right, sweetheart? So you're just a perfect one. Hi. So how many head do you typically keep? Do you like to keep, or?
I keep around 20 to 28. Sometimes I get a little
more
than I need.
I think we all do.
But, I just keep the same mama cows, and unless they have to be culled for some reason or another. And I've been selling the calves, but now I'm starting to save some of them for replacement cows.
Okay, yeah.
And Mary Hazel is one of them. Her mama's 19 years old. So she's going to be her mama's replacement. Yeah,
we met her. She was a sweetheart too, and she's horned. Yeah. So, and this is 18th calf for her? Or did she calf every year?
No, it's like her 16th.
That's amazing. They calf so late. That's another great thing about Dexters, how the longevity. Yep, the longevity of giving you calves. So, I think, how many acres did you say you had here?
We have 16, but we only have 12 in pasture.
Yeah, so then you have, and it suits those fine, the number's fine. I mean, it's perfect. So it doesn't, to keep it under control, it's not out of control.
Right.
So, how long, I know you told me this, sorry, how long have you been at this location?
I've been here 33 years, but I've only had the Dexters 8.
Yeah. You have horses for sure.
Yeah.
You probably see their heads poking out
Yeah.
periodically back there.
Well, that's how I met my Dexters, with the horses.
Yeah. There we go. So you lease bulls out?
Yes, I do. I've been leasing bulls out. And the interesting thing to me is the people with the other breeds, like the Angus, their first calf heifers, they're leasing these bulls to breed their first calf heifers.
Yeah. I wonder if there's anybody that's done that and then they're like, you know what, these Dexters are pretty awesome. I'm just going to get rid of these Angus.
Well, that would be nice too.
The more the better. So, Mississippi, you're more to the southern shows, Mississippi. You don't necessarily go up to the Dexter or the Denver, Dexters in Denver.
No, that's
quite a
little
ways.
far.
Yeah. Yep. So we have a show, and we're going to do the virtual show, which is where this young lady's going to be. So I don't like our competition because she's pretty awesome. So what is a favorite Dexter memory of yours?
You know, I have so many, it's hard to choose, but you know, I think it probably is the day I brought my first Dexters home.
Yeah.
And I was just thrilled to death, and I was showing them off to everybody, and everyone was looking at me like I had a screw loose. But then they got to see what I meant.
Yeah. Yep.
Especially once the calves would start being born, and they're so tiny. That's the amazing part. They're so tiny, and like we spoke before, I said, I've had 70 calves, and knock on wood, I've never had to pull one, and I'm thrilled with that alone.
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
So,
for sure.
So very easy calvers.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot bad about them. So I just thought of this. I'll tell you after. Yeah, I'll tell you my best memory. I never finished the story. I don't think.
You didn't.
Yes. It reminded me of that. So, what would you like to see accomplished for the Dexter breed? I guess, as far as down the road, because I tell you what. Explain to everybody, in case they're in the area and they want to come down and get hands on Dexter, what you do, because you have clinics or classes per se. So, I mean, explain that to us.
I like to get people interested in them because nobody knows about them. And a lot of people think just because a cow has horns, they're a bull.
Yes.
You know, so let's get the general public out here and meeting these cows and getting to teach the kids how to take care of them. What a good experience it is to be at a farm.
Yeah.
Where their meat comes from and where their milk comes from.
Yep.
You know, and I think children today need to be out in the fresh air and learn about what life is all about, and these cows will teach them.
Yeah, for sure. What kind of class, what would you like introduce to, say, someone super green, never been on a farm or by a cow? What would be the first thing you would bring them?
First thing I would bring them in and show them what the cow is, what he eats, and how important it is to make sure they have water year round. And I can't stress that enough because that seems to be the thing people forget, even about their puppies.
Yeah.
They forget to give them water. But that's one of the most important things. And then I'd show them how much fun they are to train and how easy they are to train.
Yeah.
You know, and where they can go from that. They can go to the cow shows and they can get into 4-H and the FFA and earn scholarships for college.
I think people don't realize that a lot of that scholarship money comes from FFA and 4-H kids, you know, and going to.
And I'd like to see more of the Dexters in this competition because I think once they get caught on, people really, really like them. I know I have, and everybody that has them just is enjoying them so much. And unfortunately, a lot of the people that have them are older people like myself.
Oh.
But they're getting their grandchildren and children involved in them,
yep.
And it's getting to be a bigger deal every year.
So you actually started a show.
Yes, I did.
In this area.
Yes.
Which is amazing. Tell us about that again. I know we talked about it, but they don't know.
It was supposed to be in May, and of course with the pandemic and everything, it had to be canceled. So the Fair Association is going to let us have it in September at the fairgrounds, and it will be the day after the rodeo down in Senatobia. We were looking for some good competition.
So if you have a Dexter in the area, I mean, would you like it just Mississippi area? Or is this open to everybody?
Anybody that wants to come.
New show. You guys heard it here.
September 19th. It'll start at 10 a.m. in the morning.
Okay, Dexter's only. I'll put a link in the description. Your contact info, and if we have any show info to give me, we'll put it in the description. We can get a hold of you,
right.
And you can get involved and figure out where and when to get your Dexters there, and that'd be great. The more people there, better show. More Dexters, more people.
Right.
So,
and if they're coming from out of town, they're welcome to keep their cows here overnight.
you might not have heard that, but he doesn't want more cows here, I guess. But if you're in the area and you can keep your cows here overnight for the show. Which is extremely generous, so thank you. That's great. Hopefully someone takes you up on it. I mean, a few people, the more the better.
Right, and we'd like to get people here and show the community what a Dexter cow is and how much fun it is for the youth kids.
Yeah.
Like some of the classes we're going to have, I'd like to have the local celebrities dancing with the steers.
Yeah, I like that. It's a Dancing with the Steers class. So we're going to get celebrities to lead the cows, local celebrities. Not me. I'm not a celebrity enough for that. But that's awesome. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, and even for the celebrities that are coming that have maybe never done stuff like that, it'd be great.
Exactly.
So, and that might get the public more and for sure make the paper and get the Dexter name out there. So that's amazing. That's a great thing. Thank you for doing that. I mean, I wish had I known, maybe I would have planned a little different and come down in September for that.
You're always welcome back.
I appreciate that. I don't know if my work agrees, but I might swing it. We'll have to see, because that sounds like a really good time, and it sounds like something I would love to be a part of for sure. And I'd love him to be a part of it. Little B, he's over there. Keep him off camera.
Keep him working.
Yeah, he might be a little too good looking for the camera. So, so that's fantastic. Another show that we could make. It was a long drive down for sure.
I'm sure.
Illinois, I had no idea was 235 miles long or whatever it was, but it was a drive to get through Illinois. So, what would you like to tell people? I mean, I know the water, and we talk about that, and we talk about the importance of it in winter when it gets to the freezing temps of the low 70s here in the winter.
Sometimes it gets colder.
Yeah, I'm kidding. But what else would you like Dexter people to know, or cow people in general, anybody, general public?
Well, they're just such a good animal to have because they teach the children, like I said before, they teach children responsibility and give them something to do besides sit in the house and play on their computers.
Sure.
Which computers are great, don't get me wrong, they're great.
You'll never learn as much.
But you won't know as much as hands-on. Yeah. And there's just so much about this cow that's here to be enjoyed. And the nice thing about it, if you get hungry, you got meat.
Hey, yeah, I mean, probably not best at the show, but yeah, for sure.
And you always have your milk.
Yeah, definitely. Great milk.
Great milk, exactly.
For people at shows or people that see people with cows and they're like, oh, I want to go pet her and ask, but I approach, especially Dexter people, there's no one in the world that's going to help you more than a Dexter person. I speak from experience on that because most of you know that I'm still fairly green, 6 years into Dexter, 7. This is why I did this show, because I just wanted to talk to people, and every single Dexter like you, I mean, if I give you a 1-day notice.
That's okay. And we love to show off our cows.
And you should. They're great cows, and the facilities are amazing. And I can tell it's not like you just ran through and cleaned it for me. This is the way. It's standard. So that's great. I mean, that's amazing. Mine looks just like it.
I'm sure it does.
No, if someone's coming, it sure does. So, I'm sorry, what else did you want to tell them again? And I just want to make sure that people aren't afraid to ask and come pet our cows at shows. We love it. I mean,
well, I'll give you a good example. I told you earlier, my first cow show that I went to by myself, I went up to Wilson County Fair. I drove in, and Sally and Warren Coat asked me if I was there for the Dexter show, and I said I sure was. And so they said, could we help you? And I said, yeah, could someone help me lead my calf, and I'll bring the cow in, because I had a cow and calf to show. Well, before I could unload the cow, someone had my tack box, the other one had my feed, the other one had my calf and cow, and then someone took my keys to my truck and parked my truck and trailer. I mean, how much better could you ask?
Yeah, you just had to show up, lead, and get back in the
right.
truck.
And just Dexter people are just wonderful, and why wouldn't you want your kids hanging around with people like that?
Exactly, yes.
You know, they're wonderful people.
Yep.
And it was first time I was there, and fortunately I did very well, and came home with lots of prizes, and it just was so great. And Kay and her husband, Kay Davis, they're great people. They helped me, and it was just a great experience, and I think everybody should experience that. I mean, so many places you go, no one even wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
And people came up and they asked, could I pet the cow? And everybody, yeah, pet mine, pet mine.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just a great experience for everybody.
Yep. And Warren and Sally from Freedom Farms, they were on.
Right.
My last trip down.
He
says hi. My last trip down to Tennessee, they were on. They are fantastic people.
Yes,
they are for sure.
They are.
Like Tennessee and the South, it's getting harder and harder for me to leave. So.
Well, wait until the temperature.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, I haven't come in midsummer yet. So. But yeah, I definitely think that everybody should be. All the Dexter owners are approachable. Put it that way.
Never be afraid to ask.
Never.
Now, if you come running up to one, screaming and hollering, we're a little.
Calmly approach. Stress that.
But we love to show off our cows, and we love when people learn about them and want to get involved in them.
Yeah, for sure. More so, I think, than a lot of other breeds, because everybody, the Angus, and I don't mean to beat up on Angus people. To everybody, to each their own. I'm not here to judge anybody, but. They have the meat sticker up. This is your cuts, and this is an Angus, and it's a little different feel, a little different vibe with the Dexters and Dexter people. So,
that's their business.
Yeah.
Our business can either be milk or oxen.
Yeah, which you said you had one going.
Yeah.
If anybody has an old yoke they want to donate, we're looking for one.
That's right. He outgrew his yoke.
Yep, and everybody knows that stuff's not inexpensive.
Right.
So. But again, thank you for the short notice jumping over. This has been great. Sometimes the short notice ones are the best.
Well,
she didn't have the advantage of everybody else having the outline. I just kind of hit her with it, like, hey, I don't have questions. This is so, very good. And I think that's what I'm going to do now, because I think you get a more genuine feel than, and I seem to trip up on stuff when I try to have to remember it. I prefer to just roll, I think. So this is you're the first one of the new format.
Oh gosh, well I probably didn't have the right answers, but I'll tell you, I love my cows, and anytime anyone wants to come visit, they can come and bring their children or grandchildren, it doesn't matter. In fact, we have visitors all the time.
Okay.
And of course, like you said, I do little workshops, and I have guest instructors that come and teach people about different things about the cows. And I think it's just a way to get people interested.
Yeah, and once you start, you're hooked.
When you see a child lead this cow for the first time and the cow follows them, they are thrilled.
Yeah, the look on their face, it's indescribable. You have to see it. Yeah.
It says it all. And the baby calves, of course, everybody loves those.
How can you not? That's one of our favorite parts for sure. So, I do appreciate your time. We had a somber moment today on our farm at my house, but I really appreciate you showing us around, taking our minds off it. So thank you guys for tuning in. Heading to Deb's next.
Great.
Which will be fun. I asked her to interview, and she's a little on the fence about it, I think, but it's fun.
Great.
Yeah, I think once she meets me and sees it, can't take me too serious.
Yeah, she's my first contact whenever I need something with my Dexters. I call Deb. She's wonderful.
Great.
Like all the Dexter people are always there to help you.
Yep, we have with the, I don't know how, Michigan's still pretty locked down. It seems like it's nice to be able to sit down in a restaurant again. We don't have restaurants open yet.
Oh gosh.
So we're getting back to normal. This interview's here. This was fantastic. And I have a Michigan interview actually I'm going to go see with Ryan and Christopher Thatcher from Two Men and a Hen Farm coming up next Sunday. These guys, the more I learn about them, the more impressed I am with these guys. They're both Navy vets. One's still Navy. I think they're both Navy vets. Ryan for sure is. He's active reservist. He was deployed for COVID. They're both registered nurses. And I don't know if they're LPNs or any. I don't know the acronyms of nurse levels they are, but they're nurses. He was deployed to New York, the epicenter, and took care of it there. Their farms, Michigan, you know, all the federal environmentally stuff, and they're younger guys, you know, and you don't see a lot of younger guys into it like them, you know, and they're the kind of people you want in your community for Dexters, you know what I mean? They're great people. They got accepted by the Veterans Farm Association, I think that's what it's called. But that sounded like a pretty neat thing too. So I'm really impressed with these guys. I'm looking forward to talking to them. They're actually Michiganders. I'm going to go there. Who else we have? Jim Whale. I'm going up to South Dakota at the end of the summer. Yeah. I'm not smart.
Just don't go in the winter.
Yeah, for sure. And there's more, but escape me right now. Michigan Large Animal Vets coming on still. We still have to make that happen. Michigan's kind of touchy right now because of the pandemic. And I think that's all I can remember off the top of my head right now. But thanks everybody for tuning in. And thank you again so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And we will have all the contact info you need to come out and visit, to do a clinic, to get involved with the show in September. Yeah, for everything we can get to help you guys out with that show or anything, we're going to make it happen. So thanks again, everybody, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Get out there and love on your Dexters.